Thank you very much. I thought it would go well with some of the themes we've had on the show today.
Yes, it's been quite the show. Thank you for putting it together. So we've got the fabulous Kate online. So, Nick, tell us what Kate's going to talk to us about today.
Kate is there. She's been to see a couple of major productions in Melbourne, Midsummer Night's Dream, and what else, Kate?
RBG. Hello there, RBG, Of Many One, which is Sydney Theatre Company, play written by Suzie Miller.
Now, do you want to get Midsummer Night's Dream out of the way? Because I went and saw opening night as well, and frankly, there wasn't a lot to say.
Oh, my God.
Well, it was. I have to say, look, there are some things to commend it, but really, I was disappointed, and I think perhaps you were too from what you were just saying. So it's Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, and this is a production by Bell Shakespeare that's running until the 11th of May at the Fairfax. Midsummer Night's Dream is a playful, romantic, comical romp, and it's littered with magic and fairies and laughter and unrequited love and eloping lovers. And
Silliness,
usually,
yes.
the most entertaining and hilarious scenes are those featuring the tradesmen who are known as the mechanicals, the amateur actors who are rehearsing what is really an appalling and hilarious performance for the Duke. And you get often wonderful clowns playing this, and I've seen some beautiful performances of this, even in the Gardens. The Australian Shakespeare Company have, I shouldn't say even, and in the Gardens. And one of the most famous productions was Peter Brook's
I
version,
saw
where
that
the
when I was a
fairies were on
youngster, and it seared into my mind. That's absolutely
exactly, and
amazing.
I missed it. I was out of the country when it came here and missed it over there, and it's one of my great regrets. So it was all in white and fairies on trapezes, and extraordinary by the sounds of it and what I've seen. Now, this one, directed by Peter Evans, who's the artistic director of Bell Shakespeare, has some. Look, I'll just start with a couple of the successful performances, so I don't want to damn it. Matu Ngarapo as the vain, that overconfident and absurd Bottom, the mechanical, pompous, etc. And Richard Pyrus plays Oberon, the fairy king, and a rather lovely clown, Flute, the mechanical.
Yeah.
So it's just that it opens very slowly. There's so much physical business with chairs and lifting and until they get to the actual scene, and it just seems to be treading water.
I just thought it was very gloomy and bleak.
Problems.
It was almost an anti-Peter Brook because it was all very dark. They could have done with some magic lighting and stuff. And I hung on hoping the second act would be a lot more alive, and it was. I just thought...
Yes.
Well, we'll bring this one to a close, I think, Kate. But
it was a bit grim, and I thought that,
by the time the lovers got together... No, I'm going to override you, Kate. We'll go RBG. Hang on.
Of Many One.
Yeah.
So Heather Mitchell is the lead in this, and she gives... Look, if I could give more than 5 stars for her performance, I would. The play itself, I took a little half away, but it's Ruth Bader Ginsburg she plays, and it's an impersonation. She absolutely embodies this woman, physically and vocally, embodies the diminutive US Supreme Court judge who became, surprisingly, an icon, a meme, a much-quoted hero of gender politics. So Mitchell plays that pocket rocket Ginsburg, but also gleefully embodies all these other characters, populating the stage with a whole parade of people from Clinton, Obama, her Ginsburg's own husband, her mother from her childhood, various other people she encounters on that journey. And I think, I know we're pushed for time, so I'll try and talk fast.
No, just tell us what you know. It's all right. Yeah.
Got a bit of time?
Yeah.
She transforms in an instant into all of these other characters on this journey. And my only qualm, this is about the script, not the performance, which is incredible, and the direction, which is lovely, by Priscilla Jackman. It really eulogises Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which is very common amongst people who were supporters, of course, but there were a lot of critics. I'm not saying that I was necessarily one. I'm not in America. I didn't live with it. But they were mostly on the right of politics because she was the gender politics heroine. She wrote a lot of dissenting judgments on, high-profile cases, etc. However, I'm sure there is more that could have given a more critical eye on this woman and her life. And the other thing that I've talked to you about before, Nick, is that a biography doesn't have necessarily its own dramatic structure, its own dramatic arc. It doesn't rise to a peak and then drop, briefly away. It does ups and downs, and that's really how her life was. So really, the turning point or the peak is her death in 2020 when she died before a new small L liberal justice could be appointed. She had one moment where she was critical of herself, where she attacked Trump. He was the target of her venom while she was still on the bench, and she was aware that she had breached that boundary between the judiciary and the executive, and for that she was much vilified. And also, she was mortified herself and apologised for it. So these were quibbles, really, about the dramatic structure and the play script itself by Suzie Miller, who's written some really wonderful pieces. But Heather Mitchell is phenomenal, and it is on until the 20th. So I would suggest, if you want to see something really that is an extraordinary virtuoso performance, that is the one to get out and see. Mm-hmm. And also, look, let me just drop in, for those who have a memory from 2 weeks ago, I talked about my play, which starts next week. Don't know if it's virtuoso, but it's Lung, and you can watch it from home if you want to. Look it up at La Mama. But it doesn't have Heather Mitchell in it.
It's got you, and that's good enough. And look, I just want to say that even though Midsummer, the dream starts bleak, the second half is a joy. Wonderful acting. The language of Shakespeare comes forward, and it really is just tells us where we've been with theatrical language since Shakespeare, and we're still working. So don't miss on it. But think, that's because I really love the second half. Do we have to wind up, Philippa?
Good. We do have to wind up. So thanks very much, Kate Herbert, once again. So make sure everyone, dear listener, get out and see Kate's show Lung, which is happening
next week, I think, at La Mama. Just look up La Mama.
Yep. Yes. Thanks, Steph. I really loved having you back in. Steph Kachais. It's not your swan song. You're just having a break.
That's right. And, like I said, you can never really get rid of me.
No. Again, black mould. And Nick Tolhurst, producer extraordinaire, thank you once again for putting the show together.